Hey everybody, Superfluous Jay here, playing more Kerbal Space Program, and I've been in the mission control looking at some contracts here, and I've picked up 7 contracts, and 7 is our max. And when I go into the all here and I look at surveys, we've got conducted gravimetric surveys of the moon, and I'm trying to decide if it's worth the $500,000, half of our money, to upgrade mission control in order to take this. And as I'm saying it out loud, I'm realizing that no, I don't want to do that. I'm going to save the money and I'm going to take the moon. By the way, this weird thing about this goes away if I go into the VAB. If I go into mission control and back, it doesn't change. But I think because the VAB is a new scene, like with an actual 3D scene that we can move around in, once I go in the VAB and it loads this up, and then I back out of the VAB and back to mission control. I cut this out usually, but I'm talking through it, so I'm not cutting it out now. I have to wait through this each time. That's what I go through for you. But anyway, when we come back, notice it's all fine now. Everything looks fine. Most of the other sites are the exact same way as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and go into the vehicle assembly building, and let's make ourselves ideally a space station that will allow us to achieve all of these things. And all of these things include a lot of stuff. They include, first of all, moonstone, which ideally we'll just find. Planting a flag on the moon, not a big deal. That's something you just do. We need to land in the moon's midlands with every piece of science that we have. We need to, this is the collect surface Mr. Goo observations from the surface. That's actually happening right now. There's already something on the surface. Then we've got Mr. Goo from the surface of Minmus. That's also happening. But then we've got the launch of the moon station, which is ideally a cupola and a processing lab. I would like to have that on there, even though we don't even have it yet. But I'm about to buy some science. I'm about to drop a bunch of science on you. And then we're going to get this thing in possibly a 45-degree orbit around the moon to make, because its entire purpose is to facilitate getting these anomalies. So that's that. And then the other one is that I've picked up is investigate rock arches on the moon, and there are 3 of them. So that's kind of what we want to do, and we also want to pick up a couple other things. If you go here into the cargo, we have picked up some science things. We've got the GOBED, we've got the experiment control station. I guess that's all we have right now, but I'm about to buy some. We're gonna get more ground science, and we're gonna set up another ground science base. So that we have 2 of them basically, probably at the arch that's on the near side of the moon. So let's back out of mission control. I'm sorry, out of the VAB here and go into R&D, because if you recall from the last couple episodes, we picked up a little bit of science that we could possibly use to unlock some of these things that we want. And among the things that we want is, don't want that. Don't care about those. So that's it. I don't even think we can unlock these. These cost 560 and we can't research over 500. So anything in this area we don't care about because we're not going to be able to buy it anyway. So let's go ahead here. Extra battery power. Honestly, I don't care about that. Here's more science things. We're just going to get those. Here's more science things. We're going to get those as well. Here's some, I really want the Octo 2 because it has a biome sensor. At least I think it might. Now that I'm saying that, it just comes with the biome. So we're gonna pick that up. We don't have to research that. These things I don't care about. More communications. Really, right now, communications doesn't matter. Survey scanner, not important at this moment because we're not going to be doing any surveying until we go back to Minmus. So for right now, it's not a big deal. We're going to eventually want to do these Sentinel contracts. Find us a comet. I would like to do that in this series. We got more cargo storage. Probably not that important, but I think I'm going to pick this up anyway. Pomegranate. Don't feel it's super necessary. This 2-person command pod might be nice. Let's go ahead and pick that up. And then this is pretty cheap, and it gets us a pod upgrade. Decreasing their weight sounds pretty good. The big command module. Let's skip that for now. Probably skip all these 2 landing legs. Better landing legs. That's probably not a bad idea. Wheels, sure, why not? More wheels and even better landing legs, sure. Propellers, better wings and stuff. Don't really care about these things. More robotics. I want to do robotic stuff, but I don't really see it happening anytime soon. More structural stuff is probably a good idea. These can't be bad. And now we're looking at we only get one more of these. Big fuel tanks, probably a good idea. I find myself using multiple fuel tanks whenever I want fuel tanks. We've also got these little dinky engines, which I don't need. So I think I'm going to hold on to this 99.5 science. And then go in here, back in the VAB, and let's build ourselves Mun Station 1. The Moon National Space Station, which is not what it's going to be called. It will be called Mun Station 1. Let's actually just name it here. Moon... Oh. STATION 1. There we go. I know how to spell. Mun Station 1. Okay, and it's going to have a couple of. It's a couple of actually. No, it's going to have a science-y place. I guess we didn't unlock the science thing, so that's not going to be coming along with us. It is going to have a hitchhiker though, because we like to have a room for lots of people. We like to have room for what we're doing here. We're also going to let's look at our contracts. Really, we need a really good lander. And honestly, I kind of like the lander we made for the Minmus mission. It was pretty nice. Scilander 2615. And I might try to get more out of that. So let's do this. Let's go 4. Let's make this our center part. And then set you aside for the moment. Not that we really need to keep this, but that's just what it is. 2366 is what we've got. And that's actually not even 2366 because we want the vacuum. 2723. Is that what I called it? Nope, 2615. So I don't know where I got that number. Who knows? Who cares? What we need to do here, though, is change it to the moon and verify that we've got a decent thrust to weight. It's not bad. It's really not bad. It's a little low. A lander, I like to have a little bit better thrust to weight. It's a little bit easier to hover. So we might fix that. Delta V, though, not bad. We won't be doing a lot of hopping. We'll be landing and then going back up. So we might not even need this much. This might be excessive, honestly, for a land and hop. And we also want to make it a 2-person. So actually, honestly, none of this is going to work. If we want this to be a 2-person lander, it's going to be completely different than what it is right now. So guess what? Goodbye. Let's start with a new pod. We know what we want now, though. Mark II lander can. It's not a bad idea. 1.167. The mass, that's a 1-person. 1.3, this is a 2-person pod. 1.3, 1.16. Yeah, this is the best lander. So let's go ahead and take this guy. We're gonna have 2 people landing in this thing. We're gonna want, I think we're gonna want to kind of do the same thing we did with the other one, which is put the fuel tank on top. Sort by mass, just because I like to. This is probably, yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, let's go with this fuel tank here. And we'll see how that works out for us. Then we're going to have all the science stuff above that. That's that. That's this. And then the magnetometer. Oop. And then all the other doodads and thingamajigs. We want thermometer. Doesn't really matter where these things go. These things don't actually weigh anything. The magnetometer is the only thing that actually has a weight to it. And I'll skip the scanning arm. We'll do that when we have a rover. So that's it. And then we also want the cargo storage unit. We're going to do X, slap that on the side. I just really like that. Actually, wait. Does this have cargo? It only has 2 inventory slots. It feels like this should have more inventory slots because it's like a thing. What if we... I've never done this before. It's now a rover. Okay, what is the difference? Can. Yeah, but there's also like variants. We could do this variant. And then see, it looks like a rover, but it's not. And then we can slap these on here. So they're smaller. I think that looks ridiculously bad, to be honest with you, but I'm gonna go with it for the time being. Now, what if I change this now? What happens? Oh, it doesn't let me because I have this on here, but now I can. So it literally doesn't let me change it if we do that. Oh, that's interesting. Let's Control Z that. Yeah, it's a little potentially buggy there, but okay, let's go ahead and do this. And then we want, we're going to want photovoltaic panels in these things. Let's lock these things here. We're going to want a photovoltaic panel. We're going to want a experiment control station. We're going to want, we don't need a weather analyzer. We don't need a gobed monitor. Passive seismometer we want. We don't need the communicatron. So that's really it. That's all we need. And we apparently want a single EVA experiment kit because that's a thing. And you know what? We should probably bring some EVA repair kits. Just so we have them. Because, you know, I think we're going to need them eventually. And maybe a single thing of EVA cylinders. That's too much. Well, that sucks. I wonder if we put it here and then put this. Didn't happen. What was that? Experiment kit. No, we can't even fit the experiment kit in here. I think this is a mistake. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with how this thing calculates the mass. EVA repair kit, that's this thing. So I want the EVA cylinders. See, 45, that's what we had in there before, and it was totally telling me I couldn't do it. So I don't know what's up with that. Let's go ahead and do that, though. Okay, we'll just say that's good. And then we want an engine on the bottom, and we want that engine to give us probably, we'll say 5 thrust to weight. That should be good. It also gives us way more delta V than we need. Although we will be doing plane changes and stuff, so I think probably way more delta V than we need is possibly perfectly fine. Then we're going to want, so this is our lander. Has all of our science. It has our little science things on the side. It holds 2 Kerbals, so we can actually do these science things. Then we're going to need landing legs. And I think the medium-sized ones are going to be fine. We're going to do 3 of them. I guess we'll do 4 of them because they don't really go on well in sets of 3s. Then what? We need solar panels. Yeah, we'll do these 1x6s. And it's annoying that they go inside here, but we can do this and then translate them up. There we go. That looks fine. And then we should probably have a battery. And does this guy have reaction wheels? If he has reaction wheels at all, I think I'll be fine. Yes, he has reaction wheels. Then we need I think we're going to start going for the regular size Clampatron, especially for a 2-person pod. And I kind of want to put these in a better spot here, like around this thing. Oops. Wow, I cannot, for the life of me, grab the correct thing. I hope this doesn't happen to me during orbital construction. There we go. And then the thermometer. I always feel like we have one more thing than we want. There we go. That seems pretty nice. He says, hating every second of it. Okay, let's take this off. Let's do a little bit of a structural. I hate... when you can see the tops of fuel tanks. I know I allow it a lot of times, but I still don't like it. I think that looks terrible. I think that actually looks the best. Okay. Is that everything? It doesn't feel like everything, but I think it is everything. We got all our science. We got our deployables. We got fuel. We need a antenna. We need an antenna, and we can slap that right here. Okay. Now we can put this back on, and then we can actually let's hit F. No, actually, let's just save this. And then, did I save the station core? Because I kind of like that station. I did not. So let's go ahead and open Min Station 1. And let's see. Throw all this away. And throw this away. And that. And then, what is this? This is the science return. We're definitely going to want that. So I think this is fine. This is fine for our moon station. So let's go ahead and we could actually just station. And then, oh, I just saved this over Min Station 1. Oops. Oh, well, we'll never need it again, so it's no big deal. Let's go to Moon Station 1. And then goodbye. Hello. And we need to fix these, but I think we can fix these by, let's go 4 to make him the root part. We can fix these. Actually, we might be able to put them on top of the lander because the engineer can still grab them from here. I think that'll be fine. And honestly, that means this guy... I'm going to leave those cubics down there. But this guy, there's no reason he can't go all right there. Other than I hate the shroud, so let's take it off. Okay. Yeah, that should be fine. That whole thing's going to moon. That means we are ready to... Oops, do a launch stage. And we've got the decoupler down here, so let's go ahead and add payload. Might have been able to keep most, if not all, of the other thing on there. Yeah, the highest thing out there is the solar panels. So I think just go straight up and we'll be fine. It doesn't like it. Oh, I think actually these are farther out than the solar panels. So we'll go out like, can we come up here? I clicked. There we go. Yeah, the delay on that click is crazy. How far up do you go? I guess to there. And then touch that and that. And then let's make it a funky color like silver. And Moon Station 1 is going to have big fuel tanks on the bottom. I don't know if this is even... Yeah, that's too big, actually. How about this guy here? There we go. Actually, wait. 1,800. No, yeah, this is This is what we want. We want this to be orange. You know what? Take them off like this. And what kind of engine are we looking at on the bottom of here? Do we need a mainsail? Let's change this to Kerbin. Honestly, I think we might be able to get away with this. Oh, we're too tall now. So we can't get away with that. But if we can get another... Oops. If we can get another 1,000 meters per second on this guy, which shouldn't be too hard, if we say... Put this on here. Find ourselves a nice big side booster. Yep, we're getting closer. So just adding fuel to this might do it. Let's see. So what do these things burn? How long do these things burn? Burn time, 39 seconds. So we need 39 seconds of fuel. Are these the same width as these? I think they are. No, they're like the next one down. So let's get crossfeed enabled on these guys, and then go down to, I'm thinking, is it gonna be, no, it's not this one, it's the next one up, so it's this size. Yeah, this size, which means it'll be this one probably. So let's see what that does. 134 seconds. Oh, these aren't attached. I'm stupid. There we go. 36 seconds, which is what this said, right? So that's perfect. So let's put these guys on the side. Put the fuel tank on top. Get these guys in the stage together. And I don't trust those numbers. Those numbers, I'm thinking these numbers aren't correct anymore. So I'm gonna ignore them. And this might be the source of my constant feeling that my rockets have more oomph than the game is telling me they have. Okay, so let's make this match somehow. That's horrible. That's less horrible, I guess. Don't have an option on these. So auto strut to grandparent. Auto strut to root, and auto strut to root, and train this one slightly lower, this one slightly faster, and I think we're good. Oh, we're over the weight. Yeah, it's doing this thing. If I do this, if I take the liquid fuel and oxidizer out of this guy, what is our weight now? 154. That was nowhere near enough. What if we take the liquid fuel and oxidizer completely out of this bottom tank here? 146. Okay, I think we got to start thinking about upgrading. So if I save this and I try to launch it, it's going to tell me Launchpad can't support it. So let's go ahead and see if we can make the Launchpad support it. Because I would really like to launch that. That's what I would like. I think that's a good amount of stuff. So if we do this, it is a hefty charge, but it will be good forever, and we want it, so let's upgrade the Launchpad. Okay, done. Launchpad upgraded. That also means that we can make our rocket bigger if we need to. Taller, I think. So let's go back in here. And eventually, someday, get this rocket out here. Okay. That is a sexy rocket. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are or what you think. I am afraid of these crashing into the center stack. I haven't been lately, but I am afraid of it now. So I'm going to I don't even know if a basic fin is enough. But these seem a tad excessive. I don't even know what'll happen if I put these on here like this. Oh, that's not what I want. Shift. Oop. There we go. I think that'll make them fly out, but I don't know. I always put them in the center. So we'll find out together. So Moon Station 1 is ready to go. It supposedly has less than 3,000 meters per second. I think it has more than that less. I'm going to put these guys on the same stage because they're eventually going to go together. I'm also going to... let's see. I'm going to... I love the way this thing shows you the difference. I'm going to disable crossfeed, though, on this. And I guess I don't need to do it on this one because this one's disabled. So, okay, let's save it and let's see who's flying here. Because we only have one person. We've got a Kerman. We got a. And Agata Kerman has been to Minmus, has not been to the moon. So Agata, guess what? You are going to live on the moon from now on. And we're also going to get ourselves an engineer. And I've decided what I'm going to do here is when I need to hire a new Kerbal, the ones that are available, all of the ones that are available, I'm going to be able to 1- match the experience of that. So currently it's 0 for an engineer, but if I do want to pick up a scientist, I can actually make them a level 1. That way I'm not constantly hurting myself by starting with level 0 people when I'm hiring new people for each of these flights. I think it's fair that I can cheat. That not only am I cheating money, I'm also cheating experience into these people. I've never created a Kerbal with experience, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but let's find out together, shall we? Let's go into Kerbals. Let's go ahead and create. And let's create our next Kerbal, which is, let's see, Mr. Dynamic. Obviously a male. You can't be Mr. Dynamic female. I guess you could be. I'm not judging. Going to be a level 0, leaving courage and stability the same. Let's go ahead and create you. We have created you now. And then if we go into available, yeah, we have to actually back out of this, back to the VAB, and then Mr. Dynamic shows up. So let's go ahead and put you both in the lander can, just for no good reason. And what we're going to do is we're going to send you guys up. You are going to be the Kerbals that live around the moon from now on. And you're also going to, at least one, if not both of you, is going to be the one that lands on the surface for all of the things. Probably Agata, because we want to get the science. And Mr. Dynamic just lives on the space station. I also just remembered that we want a probe core, and I kind of want the Octo, and I just don't know where to put it because the Octo's oddly shaped. Probably here, as lame as that sounds. So let's go ahead and get back into normal mode. Let's go ahead and put an Octo when I find it. There it is, Octo 2. And it needs to be upside down. And then we're going to put this engine on it. And then we're going to just pretend that Octo doesn't exist by sliding the engine down ever so slightly over it. And it's just a thing that doesn't exist. It's embedded in the in the body of the ship here. So let's go ahead and save this. Let's also, I just remembered, I want to remove your parachutes because you're never going to be parachuting anywhere. You can save it and launch it. And I did forget to put strut things on it, but I think we'll live with that. Okay, Mr. Dynamic, Agata, hit T, hit space, and we are on our way. We have a thrust to weight of 2, which I'm just gonna say it right now, it's absolutely ridiculously high. But it is what it is. You sometimes don't get to pick your thrust to weight. That's absolutely untrue. You always get to pick your thrust to weight. I just didn't think about it. I was so busy looking at how cool these huge side boosters looked that I didn't really give it any thought. So I'm going to kind of force the issue. Force our way over. Being very aware of the chance of flipping here as we redefine max Q a little bit with this guy. Our apoapsis is at 15. We're actually pretty good here. I'm more concerned now about the ship blowing up because I'm going so fast in the lower atmosphere, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine. And we're about to lose our side tanks. See how these side fins do for us. Absolutely horrible, but we survived, so I'm going to call it a win. Definitely a learning experience in that we learned don't do that. Our thrust to weight is still pretty high, but quite manageable. And our apoapsis is 30, so I definitely want to crank this thing down. Now, what we're going to do here with this first stage is the whole goal of the first stage is to just get us as much velocity as possible. We want to ideally get an apoapsis outside the atmosphere and a periapsis as close to the surface or above as is possible. So that's kind of what I'm going for. We're only going 800 meters per second. We've got 15 though, so we're gonna be at orbital velocity probably by the time we get out of the atmosphere. The VAB is not telling us correctly when we do crossfeed what our actual delta V is. That's the only option. I know that a really good gravity turn, which I'm not doing because I'm way off of my prograde. With a really good gravity turn, you can get better than 3,000, but it doesn't change the fact that this is better than that even. So it is what it is. So let's keep this going here. I'm only going to throttle down if I start to see heat problems. And we're at 40 kilometers going 1,500 meters per second. I don't suspect we're going to have any heat problems. I'm just going to peg this thing to the horizon, because I do not see our apoapsis staying within the atmosphere before we run out of our 600 meters per second. But yeah, Mr. Dynamic and Agata, they're going to be Mooner colonists when it all comes down to it. They're going to live on the moon, well, around the moon, with short visits to the moon as time goes on. But very likely, what I'm hoping is this space station has enough to do all the moon missions. If not, a simple refueling mission should be enough. We have run out of fuel. So let's go ahead and get out of the atmosphere so we can ditch those fairings. Might as well lock it to prograde just for funsies. And I don't actually want these to go. I'm glad I saw that. Staging is completely screwed up in this thing. I'm going to hit F5 just in case staging is still screwed up. It's not. Okay, so we want to ditch. Yeah, we're going to do this manually. We're going to ditch this. We are going to activate this engine. I don't want it to be running. Good test of the engine there, guys. Well done. We could also jokingly say this is why we don't generally put a pilot, or why we generally do put a pilot on board. Let's go ahead and not open all solar panels. Let's just open these two. Not that it really matters that much. I said extend the solar panel. There we go. Get that turned around, and we are doing quite well. Periapsis is basically at 0. Where is the moon? Let's set that as our target. I didn't want a focus view on the moon. I want to set it as our target. Let's go back to our ship. And it's actually looking pretty perfect. It's annoyingly over here, not only in the dark, but also well after we've done this, but we can do all this with one burn, I think. Yeah, let's focus our view now on the moon. That's looking pretty good. Sadly, extremely equatorial, but I guess that's what happens when you go to your ascending node. But yeah, something like that will be fine. Something like that will be fine. Let's tweak that forward. And I think that's fine. I think that the orbit has to be below 30 kilometers. That'll be a good enough close approximation there. And it's only 824 meters per second. Let's go ahead and get aimed at it. And get ourselves to the moon. It's a 4-minute burn. Possibly could have considered a bigger engine, but I don't think it's necessary, really. Not too hip on this 4-minute burn, but it is what it is. You get what you get, right? Also not too hip on this burning down thing when our periapsis is already... let's actually look at that. This burn, in theory, will put our periapsis at 152 kilometers. So let's assume that we'll be fine. And by assume, I, of course, mean hit F5, which I've already done. So I think I'm going to not hit F5. But reserve the right to go back to that F5 that we previously hit, is what I mean. Just watching our periapsis here come up as we burn away. Yeah, it'll be fine. We're up at 200 now, and this is climbing a lot faster than we're going down. So yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine, I said. Why don't you trust me? I think we can double our time warp here. Don't want to go too much because I didn't auto strut anything here, so it's going to be a little wonky. But this will be good. And I think, sadly, I'm gonna end it here as we burn towards the moon in the dark and take our screenshot. That's also in the dark. I think that's where we're gonna end the episode and come back to you next time as we approach the moon and start doing some missions here. Mr. Dynamic and Agata are going to get their science on. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I'm Superfluous J, and I will, as always, talk at you later. And remember to turn the lights on to make a better screenshot.